Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about how we can integrate Azure Open AI models with Power Automate and PowerApps, which can unlock numerous powerful features, powerful automation for us, and as well as with the PowerApps, we can use it to enhance the user experience as well. So in my last few videos, I talked about how to use Azure Open AI services and in context to Semantic SDK, Semantic Kernel SDK, where we created few couple of traditional APIs and connect them or make them smart using the plugins within semantic kernels. So this video is more or less focused on how we can integrate these Azure OpenAI models with Power Automate and Power Apps. So right now I have opened this oai.azure.com, which is OpenAI Azure.com Studio. And in my first video with semantic kernel, I talked about how you can create a deployment model and how a resource can be assigned to that deployment model. So the same model we are going to use to integrate with Power Apps or Power Automate today. If I go to my existing deployment, so if I click on this deployment, I have model which is created by my organization's name, and model is GPT-35 Turbo, and you can very well create a new model using this deploy base model, and you can choose from the existing LLMs provided by Meta or Mistral or any other LLM providers. Based on the price and the token rate selection, you can decide on your model and as well as these various model capabilities. So you can ideally go for GPT-4o mini so that you can have a low cost and low latency solution for your chats or for your any AI services. So I've created this one. If I click on this, I would get the detail about this deployment model and the name of model and the endpoint. So this endpoint is critical. We have to copy this so that we can in turn use it in our Power Automate, and this is the key. So I'll be copying the key as well, and then we are going to create one Power Automate to check like whether our LLM is working or responding well to our queries or not. And the final path is like we are going to just make some quick app like this. So if I run this app and I will ask some questions, so we are going to create one health assistance over here which will be answering our queries related to our health or queries related to our diet plans based on your customized thing. So you can ask those questions using LLM using OpenAI Azure service. So I'll just go back to this oaiazure.com, and in a different tab I am going to create one Power Automate so that we can start leveraging or calling this LLM, the deployed model from our Power Automate. So I'll just go to my flows and we'll create an instant cloud flow. We'll choose manual trigger for now, and in this manual trigger we will have this input while testing. So this input would be, I would say, query, and we'll be writing a query, and this query we are going to pass to our Azure OpenAI, the model which we are deployed based on our selected LLM, and we are going to use this HTTP request to call that endpoint. And in URI, as I said, like we'll be copying this URI, end-to-end URI, and we'll be copying this, and method is post method, and content, header contents would be content type as application JSON, as we are expecting the request and response into JSON. And over here, enter key, there we have to specify our API key, and API key we are going to copy from here and we'll paste it, and into body we are going to paste the body from this deployment model. How to do that, I'll tell you. Like you have to open this in Playground so that we can check like whether we are getting proper response or not. So this one you can write the model instruction, so you can write it, you are an AI assistant, helps people find information. So over here you can change it, you are an health AI assistant and you need to answer diet or health related queries of customers. So this would act as an instructions to your LLM. And over here, if you have this view code option over there, just change it to JSON so that we can get this JSON out of it. And this JSON we are going to just copy as is, and we are going to modify this to have this. The right now its role is system. We'll be just copying the same set to specify the role as user. So what user query we are going to pass it to this request, this LLM. So this role would be over here. I'll just change that to user, and for sample I'm just going to pass this query: please give me breakfast plan for 30-year-old male adult. And over here, this pass messages, if you are just want to keep all the chat histories, otherwise you can remove this. And this frequency panel presents penalty and max token, this one you can keep, and other things you can very well remove. So I'm just going to remove and just keeping my temperature to have a precise answer to my queries, and this max token, the rate limit we want to specify. So this JSON we are going to just copy, and I'll go back to our Power Automate. We'll paste that into our body, and this user query I would be passing that as an input from dynamic content. I'll just say get this from dynamic content, and because it's a manual trigger we have decided as input or query, so you can just say query. Query will be passed as an input to this LLM. So now we have done that, and in turn we need to just read the response which is coming out of this LLM response. So I'll just use compose data operation, and in this one the response format would be again in JSON, so we have to interpret that JSON. So if I just open my notepad, and you will get that response would be out of our HTTP body, and we'll be just fetching the choice object out of it. Under that we will have message, and under that this content. So I'll just directly copy paste this already created expression into our input. So over here input, the expression we are going to just pass in the expression which we just copied, and we'll just add it. Not here, we'll be doing that in expression text. Come on, yes, and we'll add it, and now we will just run. We'll do it manually, and we'll again pass the query as please provide breakfast plan for 35-year-old male adult, and we'll just run it, and we are going to expect the output from our LLM, and we got it. This last step, which is compose, is saying this: sure, here is a breakfast plan, 2 boiled egg, 1 slice of whole grain toast. So like that we have this entire answer. And the same Power Automate which we just created can be integrated with PowerApps, as I showed you that initially I was creating one health assistance app, and this health assistance app would be taking the queries from user, and on click of ask it would give us the output by querying our large language models based on the model type or deployment model which we have selected into Azure OpenAI. And over here the same way, if you already know like how you can create the Power Automates within PowerApps, then it's well and good. Otherwise, like you can watch the other videos of mine where like I have mentioned like how you can run the Power Automate within the PowerApps. So this is a health AI assistant Power Automate which I created. I'll just add it. We'll show you quickly. So it will take the input from our Power App and will again query the HTTP. And once this large language model has been queried with the REST call, then post that we'll be just responding that into our Power App again, and it will respond or show that into our Power domain. So that is it for today's video, where we learned about how we can integrate the Azure OpenAI models with Power Automate and Power Apps, and the benefit of that we are leveraging Azure's OpenAI language models like GPT, where you can automate the complex decision-making process, as well as you can generate the text dynamically based on the input queries, and you can enhance this user experience using that into Power Apps. And as well as you need not to worry about the security part, as you are working with Azure OpenAI as a wrapper layer on OpenAI directly. If you have any questions, please do drop your comments. I'll try to answer. That is it for today. Thank you.